it does feel very lofty, though.
Yeah.
It has we have a, what do you call this? A sky window? I don't know.
A skylight. It's a skylight.
Sky window.
It's a sky hole.
Sky hole. Let's write a movie called Sky Hole. Better yet, let's start a podcast
Sky Hole.
called
Stop.
Sky Hole. Welcome to the Horror Virgin.
You could be the first one.
Yeah.
I'm Clint.
Oh, I'm the Virgin Todd, I guess.
I'm Jennifer.
And we have a very special guest today.
Yes.
Yay.
Welcome,
our first
Rom.
guest.
Thank you.
Very first guest.
Very first guest.
Yay.
Right now, he's like, what the fuck is happening?
I've made a huge mistake.
I've made a huge mistake.
He is jobbing it up right now.
right.
Is
I
that
didn't even
possible?
know we were starting, and then all of a sudden, oh, I guess we're recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
We're
it happens.
sneaky like
Yeah,
That's how it
sneaky.
happens.
We're totally sneaky.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we just got done watching Friday the 13th,
Woo, the
part
first one.
1.
The original.
No.
Yeah, I
This
have a
movie
feeling
is-
this is going to be our most contentious episode yet.
We're going to battle.
Yes.
This movie is garbage.
No,
I
this
always
movie
knew.
is awesome.
Nope. I always thought it was garbage.
I
I
love
hated it. I hated it
Yeah, but you
so
hate
much.
every movie.
I mean, okay,
feel like
that's
that
not a
doesn't
shot,
really
I
say-
guess. Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
But
you
I
were
hated
scared. You were scared.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
yeah. You're
Oh,
not
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
No, you jumped
There
quite
were
a few
many-
times like a little bitch.
And
Fuck.
had
This
little
movie is not
screams.
scary, Todd. Not at all.
Had to
The
change his
girly
pants
screams.
after.
The girly screams.
Ron, was this the first time you'd seen a horror movie with me? No, we watched Poltergeist together. Was
No,
it
no, no.
Poltergeist?
We watched
Exorcist.
That's
Exorcist.
right.
Yeah.
So Ron was in the room when we watched Exorcist,
Yeah.
but you had to leave before we recorded because you
Right,
had to go.
right, exactly.
But man, so have you seen me jump screen before like that, or was this the first time?
I think you may have left while he was still making all his dumb jokes, and then he
Yeah.
started to get scared by the end of it.
Oh, we didn't mention that. So this is a special Friday the 13th episode because it is Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And we watched Friday the 13th, and we're putting it out on Friday the 13th.
Yep, and we're
Yeah.
going to do
The
that
first
with every Friday
Friday
the
the 13th.
13th
Yeah, so every
coming
Friday the
up.
13th,
We'll watch
Yeah.
a new
We'll
one.
do
yeah.
another one.
Woo! And I
then-
love Friday the 13th, and I try to watch this movie on Friday the 13th every time it comes around.
Well,
I get so
mission
excited.
accomplished.
Yeah.
This was a horrible movie, though.
No, I love it.
I watched part
because
4 and
it's like
6.
comfort food, you know? It's just
It's
dumb.
just
I know what's
not.
going to happen. It's the
No.
slasher, Kevin Bacon. I love
I
it.
get nothing out of that.
So you may have
can we
missed that
talk
part.
about how you jumped quite a few times at a movie that does not show the killer? Like, I'm not even sure what you were jumping at. Like, what did you jump at?
It was the musical
remember,
cues.
I remember it was musical cues for sure, but I remember jumping very, very vividly for what turned out to be a leg.
Yeah, just standing. No, it was the killer's leg.
It was.
That I didn't like the look in that leg's
Vindication.
eyes.
Just a fucking leg.
Oh my God.
It was
you,
meant-
you're scared of high notes, is what you're scared of.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hit those high notes. Lady.
We are all scared of those eyes.
Yes, you should be. If anyone remembers my D'Artagnan scream. Yeah, exactly.
God, I love that movie.
Exactly.
How many times are we going to talk about the fucking Three
Yeah,
Musketeers?
and you can, whenever you ask a question like that, the answer will always be one more time. One more time, Jen.
So, Rom, tell us, what is your history with horror movies in general, and also what is your history with this movie in particular?
I was 9 years old when I watched this movie, so I was scared shitless. And
Well, he was
it's
9,
scary.
Clint.
I was
Oh, all
fucking
right.
You
9.
fucking sociopath.
Okay, and I mean, okay, if
Also, it's scary because it scared Todd. He's a grown up.
I'm 9.
He is a 9-year-old.
He's
on the
emotionally
inside.
9.
well older
Lady.
than 9, yeah. So and then
And single.
and the thing is, like, I have a brother who's 1 year older, and so we watched it together, and it was like, late at night and all of that stuff, and he was more scared than I was.
Really?
And I'm the younger brother. I figured out that, hey, I like scary movies.
Yeah.
I mean, like just that suspense and that music just really
And were
gets-
you laughing at your brother being scared too? Was that part of it? Or were you too scared?
I was scared too, but it was like later that night, so we had 2 twin beds in our rooms. And so
This is already a problem.
So he came into my bed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? First of all, I thought it was fucking Jason coming in.
Yeah, I bet.
Not Jason's mom.
Like, oh no, what the hell's going on? Who are
Like
you?
Jason from the lake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I was already
That's
like
Todd's favorite
keyed
part.
up from this movie.
Nice. He came into your bed because he was scared?
Yes,
Aw.
he was terrified.
So this is the first memory you
Does
had.
he still do that?
No. Thank God.
So had
Thank
you
God.
seen it between now and then?
Never.
Oh, really?
So
you
you've only
haven't
seen
seen
it-
it since back
Wow.
then?
I've only seen it once, and I saw some of the subsequent Friday the 13th. But I mean, like, the first one is always going to be like solidify in my head. And this whole like hitchhiker thing, that is like, so in the 80s, that like
everybody was hitchhiking.
in the 70s, everybody hitchhiked because it was a hippie generation and all that stuff. And then in the 80s, after this movie came out, like every single parent's like, you are not hitchhiking.
Right, yeah.
You are not like, I mean, everybody's fucking paranoid.
Between that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, if you hitchhike, you're going to die.
But
And then the
Exactly.
Hitcher movie came out.
But guys, that and actual murderers were killing hitchhikers all
That
the
is
fucking
true.
time.
Yes.
Like that was happening in real life. It wasn't because these shitty movies that terrified me.
Sensationalized it though.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
and then
if
the
you
movie
think
The
about it.
Hitcher came out,
Yeah.
and holy balls.
Woo!
I'm tired. You know why I'm tired? Because this movie is so goddamn boring.
I'll say this: I almost fell asleep at points because it was
yeah,
so
you guys were
slow.
audibly yawning. I love this movie. This is one that I rewatch a lot. But I will say,
Really?
I watch it while I'm doing stuff. You know, like if I
Oh,
need
that
to
makes
like
sense.
do homework or like.
Do you
So you
watch
can just
it while
tune
you're
out during
watching
the
another
boring
movie?
parts?
No, I watch it. No, I love this part.
You're
or
like
this
watching
movie.
like a better movie
Like a better
while watching
movie.
this on the other TV.
If you want to
Hey,
see
look,
the
Kevin Bacon's hot.
Yeah, if you want
I
to
do
see
like
the
Kevin
cool version
Bacon.
of this movie, go watch the 20-second kill of Kevin Bacon. That is the only cool part.
There were
of
some
this
other
movie.
cool kills in this. Although we didn't see as many as
You don't
as I
see
remember.
any. He's
You
the
see
only
some of
one.
them. No, you see Annie when she gets her throat cut.
And,
Wait,
and,
should we
and
just-
the axe.
Hey, we should
And
just-
the axe to the
Axe.
face.
Let's,
Yeah.
let's just go through the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just
All
go
right.
through the movie because the movie opens up with the hitchhiker. Like to,
No, the movie opens up with the counselors
I was way
from
off.
like 58.
Oh,
So, okay.
already
yeah.
forgot. Already
Right.
forgot.
Wearing
I
the
forgot
matching
about
outfits,
those. Oh, yeah,
spreading
those
the
matching
jacket
belts.
around.
Yeah, I turned to Todd halfway through, and I'm like, I've already forgotten the first half of this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
It
this
does
is
feel like a
so-
long time ago.
No, it's boring. I don't give a shit about anyone in this.
Okay, I love this movie, but they could have edited probably 20 minutes out of it.
Oh,
At least.
easily.
Yeah.
I thought I remember this being like an 85-minute movie. And
What is it? What's the
it's an
runtime
hour
on it?
35.
Okay, so we start on church camp.
Right.
They're sitting around singing
Kumbaya shit.
Yeah.
Did we ever
and making
confirm it was
sex
church
eyes at each
camp? I was
other.
trying to figure that out.
They're singing Jesus songs.
Okay.
It's probably not technically a
I'm
church
pretty
song.
sure it was the DC Talk cover.
Oh man.
It might have
Mm-hmm.
been a Petra tune. I can't remember.
Well, all I know is
sex
two of these counselors.
Man, I love DC Talk.
Two of these counselors,
Yeah, they're like-
while singing this song, are eye fucking the shit out of each
Uh-huh.
other.
Oh, yeah.
like stuff's about to
Yeah,
go
she
down.
definitely got eye herp.
Oh,
And it was like the second they were done with that song, they're like,
Yeah,
you
like, they didn't even
want to
wait
go
for-
fuck? Let's
yeah,
go
I think
fuck.
everybody else was still in the circle. They're like,
Oh yeah, he handed that guitar off and was like, "No, you play it. I gotta go fuck this woman."
all right, girl, because they're like 15.
No, she
Stairs
puts out she's
and,
a
like-
woman.
They go to like some other cabin.
I think they just go upstairs in the attic.
No,
and
no,
the
it's
group.
another cabin.
Is it another cabin?
And then
It's
they
like
go
a-
up
yeah.
the stairs.
You gotta get privacy. You know?
Like a utilities room or something.
Yeah.
And
They lay their
then-
jacket on the floor. It's like,
He has to be super romantic.
romantic. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
No, no.
I won't make you lay on the hard floor.
Let me put
lay
this
on my,
tarp down."
lay on my top jacket." This movie had a lot of tarp jackets in it.
It did, and Todd talked about it.
It was
every
over,
single
It was
time.
over the tarp jacketing.
Oh my
Jen, I almost
God.
asked you, was there anything in your research about the different colors of tarp jackets representing something? Because it became no.
I don't think it's really a thing.
I think they went to like probably back then it was Kmart and
Right,
bought tarp
like-
jackets.
Yeah, they
And
had the
then-
yellow one in this side
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
green
yeah.
one in that
I
side.
mean, this movie was shot for under $1 million
It was.
at the time, at least.
Odds
and this,
are those jackets are like the jackets that the actors owned, and they just like it was raining one day on set, and they just brought them with them.
Well, it was raining probably many days on set. It rained
Yeah.
half the fucking movie.
Yeah.
So okay, they're fucking.
No, they're not. But
so
they're
not
getting
about
having
to,
there.
sex.
right?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
dry humping the shit out of each other.
as you do at Christian camp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I've
you
got
can't actually lose your
There's
virginity.
lots of like laying
God
down in
would
fields
disapprove.
and
No,
run.
then I couldn't be the virgin.
Okay, yeah, and then somebody walks in on him, and
We
we
don't
don't
know
see
who.
who it is.
Well, I mean, we assume it's the yeah
because
so
they
it's the
know
killer.
her. They know whoever it is.
Yeah, of course they know
and
her.
they're
They
like,
murdered
oh,
the
we
son.
weren't really doing anything. I mean,
Yeah.
just a little second.
Just a
there.
little
know?
heavy petting.
Yeah. And then whoever it is, the mystery person kills them.
I mean, are we
Yeah.
not going to spoil it?
Yeah, we already spoiled it in Urban Legend, and
Yeah, it's
probably
the mom.
several other yeah.
And I am probably the only person to not have seen this movie. So it's
But the thing
Yeah.
is, the mom keeps saying, "Oh, they were having sex when my son was drowning." I'm like, how about all the other counselors?
Right.
Like, how about the
Was
whole?
there a lifeguard on duty?
I have no. Okay, is the son dead already?
I think this was the year after the son
Yes, it
had died.
was.
So I think he died in 57,
And the
then
murders
she
happened in
murdered
58.
them in 58. But I don't know, did they ever say if these were the actual counselors who
I think it's
were
implied.
doing it?
It
It's
must
like
have
an
been.
implication.
That's
sort
why
of a
she
deal.
Right.
killed him.
But you're right, because it wasn't like two people specifically. And I think in the original screenplay, it was just that he drowned and it was just an accident.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
you mean that Jason was at Jesus camp?
Yeah.
There's an actual scene, a flashback scene in Freddy vs. Jason, which is produced by the
Oh, yeah.
original creator of this. It's a whacked out scene where like all the counselors are like fucking on the porch
Yeah.
outside
Oh my
while
God.
he's
I mean,
drowning.
And
in
they're
the lake.
dead, too.
What?
It's
Clint,
like
some
some big
people have
orgy
great
going on, and it's
porches.
really
No
weird.
way.
Sometimes you got to pork on the porch.
But this is what
nice.
but this is what Jesus camp is like.
Yeah.
It's one big orgy. Somebody always got pregnant. Jennifer.
Whoa, Jennifer!
Well, let me finish the
Somebody
sentence.
always got pregnant.
Jennifer and I knew each other from
Yeah.
church, and we
We've
used to
been
go
on some-
We've been on
some-
some trips.
Yeah.
But
and some people.
You were
And
not
were
the
they
father
like
of the
that?
children.
No, he did not do any.
Clint
yeah.
is not the father.
Not the father.
I mean,
I thought
that
that
is
was band camp.
any
Band
kind of camp. It's
Any
anytime your
camp.
parents aren't
Ron.
around, just like,
Speaking of someone who went to band camp for 4 years in high school,
and never
that
know.
didn't happen.
Oh, come on! Somebody always got pregnant on your band trips, man.
Well, that's,
like you guys
band
would.
trips are different than band camp.
Oh,
We didn't go away for band camp.
Oh,
Band trips got a little handsy.
I mean, it was just kind of a
Ladies.
free for all in church camp and like choir tours and
oh god,
Yeah,
you're
but-
right.
mission trips.
But you know, like we were
Ooh,
talking
missionary
about,
trips.
you know, all the, you know, that scene with Kevin Bacon and
when
you
they're
know,
doing it on the bed.
yeah, and okay, for teenagers, they're getting into this like eroticism,
Yeah.
and then they fucking get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
They're
that
like,
was
"Oh my
the
God."
rule of the 70s and 80s. If
That
you had sex, you
is.
have to fucking die.
Okay, and so
know.
Betsy Palmer, who played Jason's mother, she created this backstory for her character, and it wasn't in the script, but the story was that she
course
got
she did.
pregnant when she was like 15, and the dad left her. So she has all these weird issues with like the immorality of having sex before marriage, and that's part of why she kills all these people. With
That and
like
her
those
love
two
for
people.
clean sweaters.
Jen, which movie do you think started this as far as the promiscuous behavior,
Oh.
getting punished? Like, was it Halloween?
See,
Because that was 78, and I'm trying to think if there was something
okay,
earlier.
so Black Christmas was before Halloween, and lots of people say that Halloween ripped Black Christmas off.
Interesting.
Well, they're two
Because this
different
movie
holidays.
rips
Right.
off Halloween like a mofo in
Exactly,
a couple
and
of parts.
they did this movie to try to catch the scream train for the Halloween thing.
I like how we've called that the scream train. 'Cause
Right.
it does fit. So, like, anytime someone goes after that young adult money grab.
Right.
that's the
Yeah,
scream
because
train,
Halloween was so successful, but I don't think Halloween was really trying to go for any kind of formula or like try to be any kind of subgenre. They just made this movie, and then Friday the 13th. I think this is really where you start to see the slasher subgenre like solidify.
In
Like you
this?
start, you
Yeah.
start to see repetition of certain things, like the promiscuous behavior. I don't think that was really something they were going for or trying to say in Halloween, and I don't really know if they were trying to say it in this movie. I think it just kind of turned out that way because like it's about young adolescents when they're unsupervised, and what do you do when you're a kid and you're unsupervised? You know, you drink, you do drugs, and you have sex. You know,
I didn't do any of those things. I just had like a lot of awkward conversations.
That's why you're still alive.
And then, oh,
that's
good
true.
call.
Yeah.
I choked on Jello once.
That was your
Jell-O
camp,
shot.
that was your camp experience. Yeah, you know, I mean, and Friday the 13th ended up being a much bigger franchise. They had way
Yeah.
more installments than Halloween and Elm Street, and
Yeah.
and it carried the wave along to, I'm gonna say, like the very late 80s. Like the slasher picture sort
Yeah.
of died in like, I'm gonna say like 88 or 89, and then Scream brought it back in 96. So there was a huge gap in there.
Yeah, I'm reading a book about 90s horror right now, and that's what they were talking about, is that the killers were always the ones you rooted for up till like the end of the 80s, and then in the 90s you started to see like rooting for final final girls and like a lot more like empowerment.
The final girl in this movie is
Okay,
dumb.
is lame.
Kinda
She is so
is,
lame.
yeah.
so dumb. Doesn't she die in part 2?
She
I
is the
feel like-
first one to die in
That's what I
part 2.
thought.
Now, they were going to bring her back and have her be like the Laurie Strode, but apparently a crazy fan stalked her after this came out, and she was like, I'm out. So anyways, they just killed her right at the beginning of part 2. Spoiler.
Well, gosh, if she just got over her fear of her stalker, she could be a star.
I know, and then she'd have like way more stalkers. She probably made the smart choice.
I hated this movie.
This movie was quite
It was
I love this
boring
movie.
as fuck,
No.
and then the scare scared the fuck out of me. It was like there was nothing for me. Well, no, there were boobs.
This is the one that I skip. Like,
Really?
Yeah, for Friday the 13th, I start with at the earliest part 3 because part 3 is when Jason gets his
When he
mask.
gets his mask, yeah.
And part 4 is probably my favorite,
I don't think I've
arguably
seen
the
part
best,
4.
other than maybe 6.
That
4 and 6 are
Dreamweaver?
good. What?
Weaver, I believe you can
Elm
get
Street?
I
me
am
through
sorry.
the
I'm
night.
Don't get me worked up like that.
Yeah.
So the
Were we
two
going through the
counselors
movie?
get
Yeah.
killed.
The 2 counselors get killed, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
then we
So-
shift to present day, which is
The
1980.
present
Which
day.
is
present
probably
day.
filmed
The
1979. Yeah.
And
So
it feels like we're in Kansas or something like that, but it takes place in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
It is, yeah, okay, and it
Like they kept playing like, what did you say, Rom? Like Oklahoma style.
Oh, yeah, Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of
music.
Hazzard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Kevin Bacon and the other guy was driving with their sister and they were making out in the truck.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
they
just
were
what if-
assumed
what
that
if
they were
this-
brother and sister because
Just 'cause of the banjo?
Because the banjo music was so loud.
But wouldn't this be more like Jersey Shore type of a
Like Snooki and the Situation coming into camp. That shit would be hilarious.
So at one point you see on the cemetery that it says Hope, New Jersey, but
Yeah.
it was filmed at several different locations in New Jersey. Did you know
Oh, it
that
actually
there
filmed
is
in New
a
Jersey, huh?
town named Voorhees, New Jersey?
Is that why they picked the name Voorhees, or was it
Interesting.
named after this?
I
It
don't
has to
know.
be
I
after.
like how you do half
Probably.
research.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so seriously, I said
Wikipedia didn't say it. It doesn't exist. But Voorhees, New Jersey is 8 miles from Haddonfield.
And if we don't get
oh shit.
Yeah.
Is
I don't know
Haddonfield
what
really
that
in
is.
Illinois, by the way?
No, they're in New Jersey.
what,
Oh,
what is
bullshit.
that?
Oh, is it in
It's
Illinois?
it's the town in
the Halloween town.
Oh,
is
okay,
Haddonfield in
okay.
Illinois in the town?
In the movies,
In the
it's
movie?
in
Ah.
Illinois, yeah.
This camp is still running too.
Oh,
Of
shit.
course, they have
Yes.
like a shrine for like Friday the 13th. I would not send my kid to
Really?
this
I
camp.
would
Hey,
not go to that camp.
I brought this up a long time ago.
You did?
Why can't someone start? We should do this.
Yeah.
Start an attraction. Call it Camp Crystal Lake if you get the license to it, or call it something else, and have like you get to stay, and Jason stalks you the
Yeah.
whole time.
Hey, listeners,
so
if
many
anybody
people
out there
would
knows how to
pay-
run a camp,
So many people would pay
we've
to
got
do
an
that.
idea.
Why would anybody? That sounds fucking
You're just not
horrible.
normal, Todd.
There's
That's
some
why you don't like
extreme
it.
Normal.
scares kind of thing, though. That people are doing that kind of stuff, like extreme scares.
Scares,
You know,
yeah.
You ever heard of
Yeah.
Blackout, Todd? They come and kidnap you and take you out into the woods.
that doesn't sound fun.
Why?
I'm not going to tell you more about what they
Oh
do
my
Because it
God.
might happen to you next
my
weekend.
because it might happen to you when we sign you up and not tell you.
This, I would be so pissed if we didn't
Yeah.
document that and put it up on social. Seriously, don't do that to me. That would fucking. I would literally be killing. I can't even
Oh,
talk.
that
I can't- I'm so nervous.
Okay, so Annie, curly hair cook lady.
remember Annie.
Yeah, she's walking around talking to dogs, hitchhiking to the camp.
Hitchhiking through New Jersey because that's a thing.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
that's how you
before
got
people,
murdered.
everyone was getting murdered left and right, like Ron was saying.
And she stops at this convenience store, and this is where we're introduced
Yeah.
to the cliche crazy old man
yeah. The
out on the
Harbinger.
porch.
And the
Yeah.
Harbinger is something that was new for this movie. But
Yeah,
now
I
they've
think
kind of-
so.
But he's definitely dressed as a hipster, which didn't make much sense.
Well, he wasn't
Like
a
an
hipster
old-timey
then. He just
hipster.
looked like he was still from the Civil War.
Yeah,
He had a
hadn't
fedora
changed his
on.
clothes
He
in a
did-
while.
yeah.
I mean,
And-
for the late 70s, it wasn't unusual.
I think Rom's sad because he has
Was
that out.
Did he have no teeth, or was that
No,
just?
he had teeth. He was just weird looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
just
and
a
he rides
weird-
around on a bicycle, and he's
Yeah.
basically like Camp Blood.
It's a death
it's a
curse.
yeah.
It's a death curse.
Death.
Everybody in
Camp.
this gas station looked really weird, and like she said, she was going there and went, "Arr."
Yeah, I also thought it was funny that like
They
she
Scooby-Dooed?
They did.
she eventually meets like a driver at this convenience store that like decides to
truck
take her
driver.
a little bit of the way.
The handsy driver.
The handsy
Yeah, who,
driver
like,
that
put-
totally grabs
Who
ass.
put his
God.
hands on both sides of her ass.
Oh yeah,
to
and she
help
didn't
her
mind it
into the
either.
cab.
she was
Well, she
super
wanted that
into it.
ride, man.
Yeah, she
Well-
wanted some kind of ride.
It was written by a man. What do you want?
Male gaze, man.
But I thought it was really funny
Great
that I really thought it was funny that the driver was like, "Oh, ignore that crazy man about Camp Blood and all
Yeah.
that." But
And
have
then,
you heard of Camp Blood?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
hear what
And then he like
happened?
goes into the same shit.
Right. He was
Well-
just slightly less creepy and weird about
And he
it.
only took her to a cemetery. He didn't take her all the way there.
He was like, I am not going past the cemetery.
Right,
It is
right.
too scary beyond the
"This
cemetery."
is as close as I get."
Yeah.
He was staring at her though for awkward long amounts of time.
Oh yeah. Once he realized
Yeah.
he had no chance of getting inside, he was like, "Get out!
Right. Gas, grass, or ass.
No one raps for free." He was like, "I gotta get to this goddamn Home Depot. You gotta get out."
So maybe next time when you get hired to go to camp, just get a ride.
Right.
Get a
Uber,
ride.
You know.
Or
Now you can take an Uber or a
Yeah.
Lyft. which they
Kevin
didn't
Bacon
have
will
back
probably
then.
come pick you up.
yeah, he's not busy now.
Yeah. Oh, I love Kevin Bacon.
I think
Is he
he's
not
great.
doing anything?
No, I was joking.
Oh.
He's always doing stuff.
Yeah, he's great. Anyone else from this movie's free though? If you guys need a ride.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, she gets picked up, and then
We go to the camp, and that's where you meet the final girl whose name is not important.
Alice.
Like I said, not important. And
I don't know anybody's names in
and
this
the
movie,
camp
except
runner,
for
the
Annie.
camp owner, mustache McFace face.
Steve, right?
Steve, that's right, Steve.
Yeah.
Good call. And then they're like fixing some shit, and he's like, "I got to bone out and go into town."
Yeah.
but
He
that's-
tried to bone out on her
Oh, yeah,
first.
he did.
Yeah,
And
he's
that's
like
where-
hitting on like it's
I
unclear
know you're
how
12
old
years
he
younger than
is.
me, but
Oh, he's
Yeah,
at
okay, how
least
old-
30,
Oh, yeah.
35.
And she,
Yeah.
the rest of them are supposed to be like
18,
19.
she's 19. I
Right.
think.
Gross.
They're all-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking mustache man.
It's not illegal, but it's gross.
And so
Yeah.
she's like, it's like very confusing dialogue in this movie, just like really weird stuff. She's like, well, I may have to go back into town or may have to go back home to take care of some stuff.
Right.
And he's like, well, I know it didn't work out the first time, but maybe hang out another week. And if I don't
Yeah.
impress you by Friday or something like that, it was really weird.
What did you
was
say?
pretty
If you don't
weird.
have herpes by Friday?
Oh yeah. If I don't give you herpes by Friday, you're free to go. I make a lot of jokes in these movies when I get scared.
That's true. Yeah.
But these teenagers are immediately doing a lot of work in this movie, which I thought was
Yeah.
odd. Like they're doing all the repairs. I'm like, teenagers wouldn't
The
fucking
internet
do anything
the internet
like
didn't
that.
exist. There was nothing to do except for play strip Monopoly and fuck each other.
But you
This
still
sounds
would
work on
great.
a camp.
I'm gonna burn the internet down if I can play strip Monopoly with anybody.
Just
and
close it on
then-
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
No.
Ready Player
Yeah, but
One?
Jen,
Come on.
nobody knows what you're talking
That's like the
about.
third
ever.
time you've referenced that.
It's good.
It
Everybody
is good.
should
I
watch
love
it.
the movie.
Ready
Yeah,
Player One.
I love the
Read the book
movie.
too. It's good.
I'm not going to read the book, but the movie was great. I mean, I'm not going to read the book because I'm dyslexic as fuck, and it would take me nine and a half years.
It is better on the big screen.
Spielberg hasn't been good in like almost 20
Well,
years.
he's back.
so-
It's good.
Okay.
It is
this
good.
he's back?
Yeah.
All right.
Friday the 13th.
Moving right along. So
You know this movie has sequels and a remake, right? Do we need to
I do.
explain that
Yeah.
to you?
Okay, but
Right.
which one?
right.
The other one that's just
How
called Friday
many
the 13th.
sequels? That's
10?
10?
Let
They
me
get
see
all
here.
the way up to
okay,
Jason
okay.
X,
That
and then
must
there's
be a
remake.
record.
I don't know if it technically is a record, but yeah, it's probably.
I mean, what
Well,
other
12,
movie do you
12
know?
if you count Freddy versus Jason.
yeah, it's
So
Right.
the new Friday the 13th was going to be the 13th, which was, I thought that was really fucking cool.
Right.
yeah,
That would be
Friday the
cool.
13th.
But
Yes,
we'll get into that later, but yeah,
That's what I'd do.
they're having
What is
massive
happening?
problems getting this new movie made. So
gotta get my flow going.
All right. So the head of the camp bones out in his Jeep,
Yeah.
and then
I
they
gotta
start
go to
many
fixing
Jeeps in
the
this
camp.
movie, man. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you right
Yeah.
now, I'm already confused.
Yeah, so they start cleaning up the camp, like Kevin Bacon and the funny
Ned.
I don't know,
Not funny.
Yeah,
Not-
he's not
he's
funny.
supposed to be funny.
quote unquote funny guy, and then a bunch of the women. I don't know, like everyone's pointless in this fucking movie.
They're just like campers
There is no
hanging
plot
out.
to this movie.
Honestly,
there really isn't.
Until the death starts happening, it's real boring, and then after the death starts happening, it's real boring, and then it's
Disagree.
over.
I love seeing them hang out. They're fun. Yeah, they go swimming.
Can you
he does that
name,
Sandlot
Can you name
thing.
two of their names?
Marcy, Ned, Jack,
Did you
Brenda.
Did you do research?
Yeah, I did write some
Nah,
of them down,
nah,
and that's why.
She's reading them
Without the notebook. All the girls in this movie look the same to me.
Yeah.
All the guys look the same except for Kevin Bacon. That's probably because I
Oh, yeah.
recognize
That's because
You
him.
Kevin Bacon
recognize
looks like
him.
one of the girls with a different hair color.
Right.
and some really tight shorts.
Yeah, honestly, Kevin Bacon could get it in this
Oh,
movie.
yes.
He could get it.
Yeah, he might be my favorite part of this
I'm
movie.
just honestly sad we didn't get to see his tarp jacket.
Have you gotten it lately, Rom?
It would look real nice
This
on the
is
floor.
this is
Whoa.
no. This is
What is
Rom
that?
doesn't Rom doesn't know about your phrases yet.
That's very personal. Yo, Rom, have you gotten it?
What?
Yeah, that
Don't
movie
know.
hasn't
Right.
premiered yet. So not that movie.
Or
Wow, do you think our podcasts are movies?
Yeah, so they do the Sandlot thing, which I guess the Sandlot stole it, where Ned
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
pretends to
and
drown.
I love that part in the Sandlot where.
Yeah, I do too.
What's the chick's name in the Sandlot?
I don't remember.
She's a lot
Lifeguard.
hotter in the chick in this one.
Well, and she's older too, and I feel like it's a little more rapey in this one.
In this
too.
one?
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah. Well, he
I
does a
think the
very
other one
but
has the innocence of youth because they're like younger, and it's not like
Right.
he's trying to like he just wants to kiss her.
Yeah, and she's
it's not
like,
he's
"Oh,
trying to like
you."
get.
He did it in a very weird way too, where he was like out in the sort of in the middle of the lake at
No, he
first.
wasn't.
Oh, well, I thought they revealed.
right
I thought
next
they
to the
revealed him
dock.
later to be
and
next to the dock.
Why
Yeah.
in the world would they take a canoe out there?
Right.
Oh, like
They just had to
everybody is
circle it
trying to save
around.
this asshole.
Yeah.
Like this one chick grabs a life. What is it called?
A life
preserver.
Check
And
out
then
the
somebody
dog
else
and
is like,
his life
canoe,
preserver.
get the canoe. And then other people jump in.
Yeah.
And like, nobody cares about
Well,
this
no,
guy.
I think
Just let him
they're
die.
Literally called lifesavers, right? Like
Are they
the
lifesavers?
circle
Is that what
things.
lifesavers are based
I
on?
think they probably are.
Preservers.
Yeah.
Are they
Life preservers or life.
Are life
But are
jackets?
lifesavers the candy?
What is happening right now? We've got to get to the bottom of this.
Somebody needs to
Go
get
to
on-
the Googles.
Get on the Google.
To
Yeah.
Google.
Hop on the Google.
Yeah. But no, I
hang
think
on. Okay, so I was texting somebody the other night, and they were like, "Hey, where
What's
are
her
you?"
name?
And I was like, "I wish."
What's her name?
I wish. I was texting
What's her
somebody.
name?
Like,
What's his
it's
name?
Someone named E. It doesn't matter.
Someone named E,
someone
like on
named E.
Entourage. Okay.
Yeah, I was. I was texting them, and they were like, I'm at Gary's, and they were like, "Where's that?" And I was like, "In Google." They didn't show up.
Oh. Well, no, but I
people.
think what's interesting about this scene too is that like I think those counselors wouldn't have let Jason drown because they are ready to save a life.
I think that
So
is
they were-
what they were trying to show you.
I
Yeah,
think
that
so,
they
too.
weren't bad counselors,
Right, and not bad people.
Except for
and
the
bad
one
kids.
who was faking drowning, so he
right.
could fucking mouth
it
rape
was a
somebody.
drill.
But yeah.
It was a drill, and he just took advantage of it. He's like, I just want to test their readiness.
I mean, I guess if somebody had died at the beginning of this movie, it'd be just a very different movie,
Well,
and
two
everybody would
people
go
did
home,
die
right?
at the beginning of this movie, and
Well,
then
true,
another one
but then
died
the bodies
right
were
after.
hidden for a while.
That's true.
And,
yeah, did we talk about when Annie got killed in the woods with the
No,
evil
so
leg that scared the shit out of Todd?
So when Steve?
Steve?
I don't fucking
How do you
know.
say it, Steve?
Who are you
She
talking
gets
about?
dropped.
Steve?
Well, she gets picked up by
What are you
another.
talking about?
She gets picked up by another car,
Yeah, well, you think it's
and we don't see who it is.
right.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's,
yeah,
and it's the
yeah.
Jeep, so
It's
you
the
think
killer
Steve's
point of
Yeah, yeah,
view,
it's-
which is a
yeah.
slasher thing.
It's a
But
Jeep.
yes,
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
he's just left to go
Right.
to town too.
The Jeep that's driving like 70 miles per hour.
Right, and will not stop and turn at the mailbox.
right.
and she's like, "Excuse
and
me,
then
I
she-
think
I'm
you
pretty
missed
sure we need
my."
to go back.
Did she jump out of that car? Like,
Yeah, she
did.
jumped out and
Yeah.
moved
Oh,
the car
she
into the ditch.
tumbled onto the pavement.
oh yeah.
and
like,
somehow didn't break her neck.
Yeah,
know.
it's because she's an acrobat. The
And then
actress
she
actually was.
tumbled at like Russ Tamblyn and West Side Story, and then ran into the woods.
You're not
That's
going to hear my snapping, but I'm West Side Story snapping. I'm about to do some synchronized
not without
dancing.
3 years of ballet and 3 of jazz tap. We're not.
Nice.
Spielberg's remaking that.
Is he?
What?
Well, yeah, he's
West Side Story?
Indy 5 got delayed because
What
he's,
does he know about singing and dancing?
I
don't-
Has he made any
You
musical?
shut your
Oh, that's
goddamn
interesting.
mouth. I want to see this
Was he
movie.
involved with Newsies
Stay
at
cool,
all?
boy.
I don't know. I'm
Real
asking.
Cool.
Oh my god!
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the killer, who's you never see who they are except for their leg.
Yes.
And you got very scared by that leg.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert: another herderer in this movie.
Okay, well, so that leg was actually a man, though, because apparently when Betsy Palmer showed up to set, she was not in shape to run through the woods yet. So they had a man run through the woods.
She did fall a lot towards the end of this movie.
Yeah.
This bitch could not stay on her feet.
She was not in.
That chick dies. Annie.
Annie, yeah.
And then like hard cuts to another woman in the kitchen cooking.
fades
because
to
Annie
white,
had-
'cause she
that's
went to heaven.
It does fade to white. Is that why it faded to white?
I mean, that's how I read it.
They couldn't afford to fade to black. Black
Yeah.
is more expensive.
Too much pigment on the screen.
Annie did seem too happy though.
She did.
She
She was
did,
really
right?
excited to cook
She
for
was like,
kids.
"What is your problem?"
Right. And I think it's like she wanted to be a teacher. And I think she thought this job was her way to get like a teaching
Did she
job or
say
something.
that?
She
Did
did.
you
She's
pay
like,
attention?
I've always had a dream. I just
I was
want to
like-
work with kids. She hates when you call them kids because they're not goats. She's weird.
It's like you knew. It's like you know everybody's names and
Yeah,
what's
because
going
I
on.
pay attention.
Nope.
Because I'm not just watching these movies for all the crazy kids.
No,
kills.
no.
Like, I like
Don't misunderstand. Just this movie.
Oh, just
The
this
rest
movie?
of them are
I
fine.
like this movie.
This movie's so bad.
It's
so we
quite
go
horrible.
back to the camp, and
Yeah.
this is where other people, because she is the first kill, except for the two at the very, very beginning.
Yeah, she's the first
She's
present
the first kill
they
in the
kill.
present, right?
Right.
So then we cut back to the camp, and then the cop comes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The
Cop
cop
guy, he's dancing around in his like jersey diaper and his
jersey diaper. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
and the
true.
cop is just like a dick to everybody
Yeah.
for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever.
Well, and they're looking for
He doesn't like
the
smoking,
crazy
man.
dude.
they're looking for the
Smoking that
harbinger.
grass.
Is that what you call him?
The harbinger.
Yeah, he's
They're
like
looking for the
driving around on the
harbinger,
bike.
Crazy
Yeah.
Al.
Right.
Ralph.
And
Yeah.
then they
Oh. We forgot about the death.
Oh,
the snake
yeah, they
snuff.
find a snake in the cabin, and they actually killed a snake.
Yeah,
Yes.
Todd, you
They
seem
show you
genuinely
killing a
concerned.
snake.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
wasn't in the script. And Tom Savini and one of the other makeup guys were like staying at the camp while they were shooting, and there was actually a snake in their cabin. So that's what inspired them to put that scene in. And so they had to kill this snake. And I read somewhere that the owner of the snake was on set and crying when they killed the snake.
What?
I know, but PETA
Why?
didn't exist, so they could do whatever they wanted.
That's
Todd, after the show, we're going to give you an education on Tom Savini.
Oh,
The
yeah.
very quick version is he was a special effects guy, worked on a lot of horror movies, and then eventually
Yeah.
became an actor because he was such a fan favorite.
Yeah, he got
So if I
hired-
show you his face, you'll be like, oh, that guy. 'Cause
Right. And
wow.
he's,
Okay, cool.
Wow.
he's known as like a really good special effects guy. And this is one of the first movies. He was in Dawn of the Dead, or he worked on Dawn of the Dead, and that's why he got hired for this. But like you see a lot of the kills, like the Kevin Bacon thing and Annie against the tree when she got her throat slit. Like we're so used to that stuff now, but none of that, like you didn't see any of this before. And they actually call this movie like the birth of the splatter film because it's like really bloody. Not bloody from what we're used to now, but don't say you're thinking of a different kind of splatter film, aren't you?
Yeah.
I saw that smirk. I was like, oh, tough.
Oh, dear.
How you doing? I am single, ladies. All right.
Because he's
so,
a pervert.
I mean, there are some lady birds out there.
Ladybird. Does not stand for introvert.
Some of those are. I'll tell you that right now.
And I think the first thing also with this movie is the killer looking at you from in the woods and everywhere else.
The killer
Oh,
point of
yeah.
view.
You know, like even when they were doing that whole lake thing, it cuts to the killer looking
The killer's
at him.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a
so
slasher
that's
formula.
That's creepy.
Right. And there was a little bit of that in Halloween, but you still saw Michael.
Well, see, now that's what creeps me out. And Halloween was a very, very slow-paced movie, just like how this was. But you saw him, you
Yeah.
saw the babysitters walking down the street. You see Michael hiding in the bushes in the back. Like, that's what scares me. This did not.
Well, and obviously they couldn't show the killer because then it would show who the killer was. Even though we don't know who she
But I don't
is,
give a
it would have
shit.
shown.
So yeah, like I much rather would have seen this old lady. Like you still don't know who the lady is,
Right, and you
can
don't
have the
know that
lady
it's
kill
a
everybody.
lady. Yet.
That's true.
Like I feel like they're kind of trying to make it look like it's a man with the man leg and the boots and
Right.
stuff.
Going back and watching it another time, they really are in the moment trusting who this person is, and so she seems
Yeah.
very disarming. You know,
'Cause she's a
And
lady.
a,
Yeah.
a sweet old lady
All
by
right,
the
so-
looks of her.
So where do we leave off?
It was about to storm. Kevin Bacon was about to go have sex with Marcy, and then
I mean, who can resist
Ned,
that?
Goofy Ned, was just watching by a tree
Fucking
and sad
Goofy
because
Ned,
he didn't
man.
get to.
Did Goofy Ned? So I know everybody died, but like by the time we got to the end, I guess to the final girl, I'm like, I don't remember half of these deaths. So how
Yeah.
did Ned die?
Ned, we didn't see
So
Ned die,
Ned went into a cabin
and we saw him talking
because
to
he
someone.
saw the killer. Mm-hmm. So Ned actually saw the killer, which like he's an idiot.
Right.
Yes,
Well,
he
yeah.
is.
I didn't know if he was brain damaged
he
or what
is.
was going
He
on with
was
this
no, he was
character.
just goofy. He was. They called him
I
the
think he
birth
may
of the
have been
practical
brain
joker
damaged. Like,
victim.
no joke. I think he may have had
I
some
don't
cognitive
think that he
disability.
is. I think he.
No, he was dancing
called-
around with an Indian headdress on with a jersey diaper,
Is
as
he
you called
autistic?
it, and he thought
He might be
was being
autistic.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot
It's
of
80s
Asperger's
humor.
in these movies,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And you know, I do remember the part where he almost killed the girl with the arrow.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah,
was like,
that
"What
was
the
not
fuck, Ned?"
cool.
I know.
Yeah, dude, you seriously could have killed me. Are you
And I was like,
crazy?
well,
Then he
Ned's
was
the
about
only
to
dude
shoot
not getting
3
laid in this
arrows
movie.
at once.
yeah, he just like puts all the arrows in his face.
Oh, wait till I show you my trick shot. What the fuck,
Like
Ned?
Freddy Krueger's all those arrows and just
Yeah.
lets it go.
And nobody really was asking questions after Ned disappeared. Like everybody was playing
No,
strip poker,
no.
having a good time.
Everyone was pretty happy
Nobody
Ned
had-
disappeared.
yeah.
Any
Oh,
idea?
They're like, look, don't say it.
Yeah, don't say anything.
If you
but
say his
Ned's
name 3
gone.
times, he's coming back.
No, but
guys.
that was cool to see them having sex and then
It was
going
cool to see
up
that. You're right. I
up to
really
the
like that
bunk
part, man.
bed. I mean, like, okay, how could
Oh,
they not
yeah.
see a dead
Yes.
body
Yeah,
above
it's not like
the bed?
it's like a foot from the ceiling or anything.
No,
and there
like
was
when they
blood on
walk
the pillow.
in.
It was dark, guys.
Yeah.
They got the boning on the mind.
They got the they
That's
did have
true.
those
That is
rose-colored
true.
glasses.
Rom, if you could have sex with Kevin Bacon, would you be focused on the dead bodies around you?
I know that I would not. He's respectable.
Kevin Bacon, get on this podcast. Bring Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah, we only want Phillippe.
Yeah,
we don't
that's
need, we
all
don't
I
need
got.
Kevin Bacon.
Or Jessica Chastain.
I don't know if you know this, Rom. It's our mission to get Ryan Phillippe onto this
Is
show.
that right?
And no one else.
No, I've got a list of other people I want before Ryan Phillippe.
Okay, we
Well,
can't talk
yeah.
about them until
But
we
I'm
get
not going to
Phillippe.
kick Ryan Phillippe off the podcast.
Well,
If
you
anybody knows Ryan Phillippe, tweet at us.
didn't-
Ryan
did-
Phillippe?
You,
Are you
did,
listening?
you didn't kick him off of you at the
Oh, he did really?
Behind the nipples corner.
He what?
because Jen made out with let's just say someone who may or may not have been Ryan Phillippe behind the Nippers Corner Theater.
This story has gotten totally twisted.
This also makes me
Yes.
think of Game Night with the girl that thought she slept with Denzel the whole
Oh,
time.
that was funny.
Who did she
That
actually
was so
sleep with?
funny.
Some random dude.
Yeah, that looked kind of
Looked
like
kind of like
Denzel.
Denzel. Anyway, enough about good movies.
This is a great movie.
Jen,
False.
you are insane.
No, I love
False.
this movie.
Jen, with
Is
all
there?
due respect,
I'm starting
shut
to
the
doubt
fuck
if
up.
there's a horror movie you dislike.
Oh yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, The
Really?
Shining. There are a lot of horror
So
movies.
you
that's
don't like
The
what
Shining?
many consider
I hate
to
The
be
Shining.
the best horror movie
Yeah.
of all time.
Wow.
But you
Oh, yeah.
love Friday
We'll
the
talk
13th.
about it.
We will. The Shining episode. The Shining
I've
might be our
actually-
only like 3-hour episode.
I've actually seen The Shining already. That's one of the ones I've seen.
You guys might not actually be able to talk on that episode.
It's
It's
just
going
going
to be me
all
just
you.
like
Yeah.
unloading all of
And
my
it'll be me
rage.
and Clint.
It's gonna be
like,
like a
hey,
speaker
what's up?
meeting.
Hey, what's up, Clint? How you
Yeah,
doing?
how'd your day
How you doing,
go?
buddy? How'd your day go? How'd your day go, Clint?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, good.
No, but I think what I really like about this movie is the formula of it, and like it's fun, it's popcorn, it's like now I
It's none
also
of these
watch
things.
it when I'm doing other things, so I can look up when I know what's happening, I know when the kills are going to happen, and I know when I can stop paying attention. Like whenever she's just crawling around on the floor next to the teapot, I kind of like maybe proofread something, you know?
Okay. Here's what
Then
I
check back in.
Here's what I need because I already don't give a shit about the characters. I need cool kills.
Yeah.
And I need funny things to happen. Those
Did
are the
you
two
not
things.
You
See
didn't
him
find
dancing
Ned
around
funny?
in that diaper.
Did you not see him try and murder that
Do
chick
you-
with the bow and arrow?
Yeah, do you remember when he
These are
pretended
all
to
classic
drown in the
funny
lake?
things, Clint.
He called somebody Tonto, I think.
No, that was the cop. The cop was very racially insensitive
That was-
to the
He
First
was.
Nations
This is what
people.
the sequels get right. They add the cool kills. They add actual funny shit. This is a snooze fest. It's so
It could
goddamn
have
boring.
standed for
How
some
about the
editing.
hatchet to the face?
Yeah, dude, that was a
So
cool kill.
okay,
Pretty
so
good.
can we just
But
jump?
we didn't see it happen.
Can we
All
just-
we see is the aftermath.
What I want to do right now is just do the feature jump to kill, but for this podcast because the rest of the movie fucking sucked, and I hated the kills. So that's got to tell you something. I'm gonna sneeze.
There was
So
nothing
what's
for
the
you.
next?
I'm just warning you, I was gonna cut it out,
Bless
so don't
you.
say anything funny.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
Did you say
nothing.
molest you?
There was
I said
definitely
bless
nothing.
I am
you.
gonna start saying
Molest
I
you.
molest you. When someone sneezes, I molest you.
And then if they look at you weird, you're like, "What?" I
said, bless
"Bless
you."
you."
You're the weird one, Rom. But if they say yes, it's on. Then they can get it.
I paused and waited for the get it line.
all right.
Because I knew it was happening. No, I think it's the first. I think it's the first time Todd and I
You know
are in
it's gonna
agreement.
happen.
There was nothing.
You
There
just
was
gotta
nothing
wait
for
for
him
it.
in this movie. There's nothing for me in this movie. There
I'm
really
surprised
wasn't.
there was anything for you. There was nudity in this movie. There was bullying.
What
there
about the
was racial
patriarchy,
insensitivity.
Jennifer?
There's
I
strip
mean-
monopoly. Well, there's the male gaze in this movie.
There wasn't much male gaze in this movie.
There was, yeah.
Not
We think
really.
that we're looking at the point of view from. I'm not going to say this the right way, but yeah, the whole time we're looking at these women and we're objectifying them because we think that we're a man looking
you
at
saw
them.
Kevin Bacon's ass as much as you saw that chick's tits.
Yeah.
Was his ass in this movie?
Oh, Clint.
Yeah, they
whatever,
were.
my
Yeah, she
friend.
grabbed
I
me.
don't
to
Could
one.
my,
Oh, yeah.
could
I don't
my
remember.
eyes not handle the gaze? Did we look
You
in a
were
different
talking
direction?
to me about something,
Can-
and
I
I was
was?
trying to pretend that I was listening to you.
But you were staring
so I
at Kevin Bacon's
Or
ass.
Kevin Bacon and Marcy.
Wow.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I mean, if I had to be ignored for something, I'm glad it's that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I kind of
Oh,
remember
the
what you were saying.
swimsuits. Okay, I got
I mean,
it.
Yeah.
at least it wasn't
Well,
his
that- and
dong.
also when
We
they're
don't get
having
his
sex, she
dong
grabs his
until
ass.
Wild Things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1998.
right.
Check it out.
well, you can see his dick.
Kevin Bacon's dong
I think he's
and
got a
Denise
visible
Richards.
erection in the Invisible Man too.
I'll be
Denise
right back.
Richards'
What are
boobies.
we talking
Really?
about?
We're talking about the movie Wild Things, which is a lot better than this.
Yes, it is.
For different reasons.
More nudity.
Yeah,
Poor
but,
pool
but guys,
threesomes.
this is also 1980.
Exactly. Yeah. This
Okay,
was
Tell
pretty
us what it was
groundbreaking
like,
for the
Ron.
time.
Yeah,
Fuck
none of us
you.
were alive except for you,
I
Ron.
know. I already feel old. You don't need to rub it in.
These dumb kids, they don't know.
But no, I mean, I don't know. Like for that time, this was totally different from any other
Right.
movie.
And
Okay, so
these
you and I were
weren't-
talking about this earlier. So was this the first movie that really did the sort of first-person killer thing?
It wasn't
At
the
least-
first time, but it was the first time they really leaned into it. And I think they
Right.
had to because they couldn't reveal who the killer was, that the killer was a woman.
Okay, so what was the first movie that did it?
Well,
Gina?
Halloween did it. Peeping Tom, I think, is the first technical from the point of view. And that lots of people say it's the first slasher because of that killer point of view.
Okay, but was it
Haven't
the
seen
same
that.
as this where you didn't get get to see who it was until the end? Because
No.
Halloween broke from that pretty quickly. So this is the
Right.
first one that does it the whole movie.
Right, and you don't know who the killer is going to
Okay.
be till
That's
the
sort of
end.
like Jaws, right? Didn't they?
Yeah, you don't see. And another
And I've
thing
never
they
seen
did.
Jaws either, but I know that that was a thing, and it was actually because the mechanic
shark wouldn't work.
was so bad that they couldn't get it to work the way they wanted it, and it just didn't look good, so they didn't show it until the very, very end.
Right, and so they used the music to tell you when
Right,
Jaws
right,
was
right,
around.
right.
And so they were kind of inspired oppositely when they were making this. Like, they specifically did not play any music unless the killer was around in this one. And I was watching and I was
notice that,
listening to it. Okay, you know what she's saying? She's saying, kill, kill, kill them all, ma, ma.
Well, I
ma.
also didn't remember that
ma,
actually
ma,
started
ma.
in this movie. I thought it was
Yeah.
later in the sequels, but it really was like immediately like shh, shh, shh.
And it's not that, it's ki, ma, ma, ma,
think
from
you-
kill them all, mommy.
I think you're projecting
okay.
that.
No, seriously.
But it sounds
She
like
says.
shh,
At the end, she's like, I will kill her, Jason. Kill them, mommy. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same sound that they carry all through the sequels, and they're definitely
Yes.
not saying
Right.
that.
Yeah. Well, I think at that point, they just start saying what everybody thinks it is.
I love you, Clint.
So then.
movie is boring.
Oh, no, but
It
here
is
we're
real
getting to
bad.
the best kill, which was
Are
Kevin
we?
Bacon.
Okay.
Well,
Kevin Bacon,
so
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
So
that was a cool kill.
He
Yeah.
has sex with the arguably, I think, the most unattractive chick. Like if you're Kevin Bacon,
Unattractive?
Really? Yeah,
I
I
don't
I
think
thought
think
the final girl was the least attractive.
Okay, that's fair. She was pretty dog meat.
Jesus.
Or you
I
kept
think-
thinking it was a guy.
What? That's fair. If I
that's
could,
the real reveal
if I
is
could
that
have-
the final girl was a girl all along.
It's like the crying game.
I will
like,
say
guess
this though:
what?
if I could have sex with any chick in this
Camp
movie,
Crystal Lake?
it would have been Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. But
That's
yeah,
a
so
different kind of male gaze.
New podcast, Male Gaze.
I can't sign on for that one, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure you were invited.
Damn. This is the Todd Clint Rom podcast.
Rom is nervously laughing like I'm out.
It's like I'm not going to be on a podcast called The Male
On the
Gaze.
same sofa.
Studio.
Then the killer grabs onto his forehead and
That
shoots
scared the
an
shit out of me.
arrow through his neck.
I don't think he shot an arrow. I think he
He
stabbed an
stabbed it.
arrow.
Yeah.
Well, and we're saying he. It's definitely a she. But yeah.
Yeah, and it was supposed the blood was supposed to go shooting out, but apparently it didn't work. So Tom Savini like blew through a tube, and that's why it's kind of bubbly when it comes out.
Budgets, man.
Yeah. Well, and apparently Kevin Bacon had to be in this really uncomfortable position for like 3 hours, so they didn't want to do it again.
Was this his first movie? Did anybody
no,
check on
he
that?
was in Meatballs. Was it Meatballs? But this was his. I think this was his second movie.
Okay. Did he have a speaking part of Meatballs?
I don't
Or-
know.
okay.
Yeah, he gets spanked, doesn't he?
I don't remember Meatballs.
I immediately need to
No.
go back and watch
Am I
Meatballs.
thinking-
I ate
Animal
some meatballs
House.
during this movie,
You did.
and that's why I fell asleep.
You did, and that chick who was banging Kevin Bacon may have
She
done
may
that
have
too.
been. Wasn't confirmed on camera. But
Don't forget the meatballs.
I also think that it's not Meatballs. It's Animal House that he was in.
Well, that would make sense because I think Meatballs came after this. Meatballs was like 84-ish, I think.
I don't know.
Animal
Yeah.
House stuff.
Yeah,
Because Animal House is like
because he
79.
did get spanked in Animal House because he was in the fraternity, right?
Right.
Yeah,
lot
I haven't
of
seen that movie, but you know,
You haven't seen Animal House?
What?
What is wrong with you?
I don't like
The
comedy.
best
She doesn't.
You don't
like
like comedies.
No,
Wow.
I like 5 comedies. I think, and
You
Ace
are-
If
Ventura
you
is
don't
not
know
one
what
of them.
comedy is, that makes total sense.
You
that you
are
didn't like
the
this movie.
worst
So
kind
you're
of
the
person.
comedy.
Or that you did like this movie.
I mean, I could be on a comedy virgin podcast, but I will not.
Oh my
because
God!
that
Can we
sounds
do
terrible.
that?
That would be a
sounds
lot of
so
fun.
much better
Yeah.
than this podcast
Make
because I
J-
hate horror movies.
Like today, Jennifer, we're going to watch American Pie 1 through...
Oh my god! Nope, I'm out.
It really gets to the point where it's like Eugene Levy and a bunch of people you don't know.
Right,
And
yeah.
straight to video shit.
Okay,
we
so
just-
Kevin Bacon just got arrowed to the throat.
Kevin got
And that
arrowed to the
arrow
throat.
was a twisting, man.
Yeah,
Twisting in his
man.
neck.
It
That was
was
awesome.
That kill was pretty cool, and
Yeah.
like you
It
were
was
saying,
cool.
for it being 1980, it
Yeah.
looked real good.
This
I mean,
was
no way
really-
you could get that arrow by hand through somebody's body, but let's
Right.
just let that go.
It was pretty groundbreaking practical effects.
I would
too,
say
at the
that, yeah.
time, which is one thing this movie is known for. And the first time I saw this, that I remember, and not being a kid, I saw the edited version on like the WDB or something.
The
like
WDB.
WDB.
Yeah.
The
some-
Warner
Warner
Dick
Dick
Brothers.
Brothers.
Oh my god!
Fucking love you
You
so
guys
much,
just pull
Clint.
that out of your ass at
That's
the same
amazing.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
we
I
both swing
guess
for the fences every
Perverted
time.
a
That would have been a
minds think
different
alike.
frog. let me
Yeah,
tell
that
you.
actually, I think Weinstein started that company.
With a real deep throat frog.
Whoa,
Hey,
hang on.
you remember the WB frog from? him.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. This is my penis.
He's like, I just want to leave. Where the
yeah,
fuck
so
are
then
we?
Marcy,
I really don't care.
Kevin
about
Bacon
this
just
movie.
got killed. Marcy goes to the bathroom.
Marcy's the chick you just fucked, right?
Yeah.
So she went to go to
in
the bathroom
her
to prevent
top
yeast
tarp
infection.
and her underwear.
Top what?
Yeah.
Top tarp.
Her
Top
tarp.
Tarp.
Yeah, they're tarp. It's a company called
you
Tarp that makes tarps.
At one point there was
tarps. Yeah.
At one point there was a. I think it's right after
That's not
this.
clever marketing at all.
But like while they're fucking, there's like the strip poker going on, and there was one
It's
point
not
where
poker,
this. Girl,
it's Monopoly.
Oh, Monopoly.
Strip
There's one
Monopoly.
girl that is stripped down that she goes to put her tarp on, and then she goes and puts like her nightgown on, and then puts her robe on, and then takes all that shit
Yeah,
off.
and
I'm
she
like, there's
leaves her
way
clothes
too
just
much
on
boring
the
shit
floor.
going
Yeah.
on here.
Like her clothes are probably just inside the Monopoly box now because she
How
didn't.
big do you think Monopoly boxes are?
Okay, so anyway, she gets axed to the face, and
Who
then Marcy, Kevin
Marcy
Bacon's
Playground?
lady, Marcy's playground.
Yeah. She does get axed in the face. Remember, it's the chick who's trying to fix the sink. She fixes
Mm-hmm.
the sink.
There are
and then,
like 4 chicks that go to that sink.
Yeah.
Well,
And
okay,
I'm-
And they don't. They just step over the blood trail, and they're like, "Oh, everything's okay."
maybe
here."
someone got that period in here.
Maybe
I mean, that
try
is a
some more
logical
sinks.
conclusion.
How much blood? I don't want to think about this right now.
Jennifer is cracking herself up at this point.
That's not what. That's not what happens.
Hashtag matriarchy.
Yeah, man.
Burn it down.
All right, so she gets axed to
keep
the
talking
face.
about it.
That was cool. I would have
Yeah.
loved to have seen her be axed to the
You
face.
wanna see
I
the
didn't
actual
see the
axe.
the
Well, okay,
action
but
of
they
the
didn't.
axe.
That would have had to be practical, and that there's no way for that budget they could have done
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
But, I
like
mean,
what they did was
I think
already.
what they did was decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Otis through the face.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
fucking Otis.
And then what's
And then
the
Otis went in the bed.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
killer just hid Otis. She wanted the people who found it to think it was like a person laying in the bed.
Yeah.
like the head of Otis was
Yeah,
on the
that was
pillow.
weird.
By the way, Otis is an ass.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Sorry,
say, if you don't
guys.
know what we're talking about,
Yeah.
listen to Frailty episode.
Yeah, so Otis is laying in the bed like it's asleep.
Right.
And also, this is
They
the
tucked
first. I
Otis
think
in.
Rom
They
actually
even
said
pulled the
something
cover
while
up.
we were watching. Like, this is the first really dumb thing they do, which is
Yeah.
they just leave the axe there.
Right.
And
Well,
then
it's
we
got
have a
blood
fucking
on
weapon
it.
there.
Had the people who found Otis seen any dead bodies yet? I'm
No,
not sure. Okay,
because
so
she's like hiding them all
Right.
to be revealed
Right.
at a
Right.
certain time.
I
She
thought
planned.
So. Okay, so I thought they hadn't yet. That's probably why they didn't leave it, or why they didn't pick it up, because they didn't know they needed it.
Right.
But I
yeah,
mean,
because I still
if you
didn't.
find
She's
an-
like, what is going on?
If you find a bloody axe in the bed,
Yeah.
I mean, if you find it in a house in suburbia where you can call the police, you don't want to put your fingerprints on it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in a cabin out in the middle of the woods and there's a bloody axe, you take that fucking axe,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then stand in the
I mean,
corner
she's
until
probably not
something
gonna-
happens.
so at this point, strip monopoly has sort of ended. The chick who is
Yeah, because 45 minutes after it rained, she decides that she wants to put the windows down in her cabin.
after it starts raining,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's raining. I
So
do
she
think they were
goes to
kinda
go
high.
put her windows down.
Yes.
in her
No,
cabin.
she put the windows up because the windows were down. She just wanted to put on that nightgown and all
Right.
the robes.
I'm sorry.
She
so-
wanted to go running around in the rain in her underwear, which
Yeah.
is what she did.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then she also went to the same bathroom
Yes.
and
Yeah.
heard something,
But she
then
was smart about
I'm
it.
not going to investigate it.
Right.
I'm going to go back to my cabin.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
that's
get
why
the-
she didn't get axed to the
I'm gonna
face.
GTFO'd.
And so then she went and she heard the crying from outside. Like,
Okay,
"Help
what
me,
was
help
that
me."
about?
It sounded like I
Yeah.
think it was supposed to be Jason drowning. I think it was supposed to be the because it was a child.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a child making that sound.
Probably
So
her making that noise.
I'm sure it was because you see her talk as Jason. So I'm sure it was just her in the woods, but I think that was what it was supposed to be. And then
See,
I
that's
honestly,
the first clue that you know that the killer is a woman.
right.
I didn't think about that.
Or
Yeah.
a small child
Yeah.
living in a lake.
Well, because that's an urban legend too, is the crying baby outside the door, and then you open the door, and
Exactly.
then you get got.
Lure him out and
yeah.
Can
Happened on
we
Sons
just
of
talk
Anarchy,
about
too.
all this
Okay.
brute force stuff that's been happening, like people getting stabbed in the face and in the neck and all this, and then it's like this old woman that can barely do anything at the end of the movie.
When you actually see her, she is pretty ineffectual. If she doesn't have the element of surprise,
Yeah.
she's not going to get
Well,
you.
because you remember she's also the girl that put up the archery thing.
Yeah.
And so
Hey.
I was so looking forward to her being shot up by arrows.
Right.
That would have been
And, like,
amazing.
gotten,
Well,
like
that-
shot through and stuck on the thing.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
happened to
like,
somebody else.
Comeuppance.
Someone else
Yeah,
got shot.
yeah,
We
that-
didn't
that
get to
other
see
guy.
it.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see that kill,
got-
which I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
He got,
got
hit
shot
in
to
the
the-
nuts.
Yeah.
He got shot in the dick,
The money
in the
shot.
eye, and in the throat, I think.
Those are your three.
Todd, in the Friday the 13th,
I've never had sex with an eye socket. You're the one that said it. I'm defending my honor. Not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I've never done
Stop
it.
thinking about the Family Guy episode where they start doing the ear sex.
Once you go black, you go deaf. Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to talk about the remake for a second.
Wow.
Okay, go.
Yeah, in the remake they have like the archery range comes into play, and there's somebody on the docks. I think it's a guy, and I think he's trying to escape or whatever. But like he gets an arrow through the head, and it's so fucking brutal. It's the best part of that movie because Jason's shooting bows and arrows in that movie.
That movie has some good kills too.
I mean, if you're hanging out at camp like 363 days of the year until the next summer round comes around, like you gotta be doing camp stuff
and digging tunnels and stuff, and like hanging your bells around
and eating Jello.
Yeah.
And s'mores.
You had to bring up Jello?
That's
Jell-O is
a good
delicious.
Funny or Die sketch. What's Jason doing on the off season?
I always like the meme where he looks at the calendar when it's like Friday the 12th.
And he's like,
real
"Aw."
sad. Yeah. So this is when they hear Brenda, who is strip monopoly lady. They think they hear her scream. The power goes out. So the man
Right, it
who's
really
still
is
alive,
just Final Girl and the
man who's still alive. Yeah, he.
And they see the lights on.
Yeah. They see the lights in the archery thing. Bill is his name.
Nobody
I don't
gives a
fucking know.
shit.
Anyways,
Yeah, nobody cares.
He's the surviving man. Oh no, have we seen?
Oh, Steve.
Steve, yeah, he
killed.
got killed, which really scared Todd too.
Yeah, you
when he
jumped for
gasped
that
and his
one.
eyes went really wide.
Yeah,
even
but
though we
you
didn't
don't see anything.
No,
It's just like a music stinger, and his eyes get wide.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
did I yell?
yes.
Yeah, you yelled.
I don't. All I remember is like tensing up. I don't remember ever making a sound, but apparently I did. And
You
I
black
did
out,
later.
went in from extreme terror.
I just don't remember what fuck you guys.
So yeah, they start to go like investigate the generator or something.
There's so much
Yeah.
generator investigating
God.
in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that generator is way overdone.
And I mean, it's also
but they all know
like,
how to use it. I don't know. I
yeah,
wouldn't
right.
know
Like
how
we
to
went
do
back to that. Like teenagers today would not even know what a generator is,
Right.
let alone
Kids
know what
today,
it looks like
man.
or where to go look for it.
Yeah.
It's like anything that goes wrong in this movie, they're like, we can fix it.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck are
Hey,
you?
show me how to do it. Here's
Yeah.
some propane.
It's before the internet, guys.
You try to go get a flashlight is what happens
Yeah.
in that when that happens in real
Right.
life.
And then you call your dad. Your dad
But
fixes
but
it.
that is the first time that the girl actually sees someone dead.
Yes, because he gets
door.
he disappears and's got all the arrows to his
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
All
One to
those
the head, one to the
orifices.
dick.
And that's when and that's when she starts to discover all the dead bodies, and then Miss Voorhees pulls up in the Jeep.
Yes. And she's
Right.
like, "Oh, thank goodness I'm rescued."
Looking
because
creepy as fuck
Yeah.
immediately.
Can I just say this? If she's killed conservatively 8 people, maybe at this
Right.
point,
Yeah, I think it's 8.
maybe less, maybe more. It could be 35, whatever.
The kill count is 11, including the snake.
We're not counting the snake.
Snake doesn't-
I'm
10.
The
counting
snake
the
is
snake.
not a person.
Yeah, 11 plus snake.
Well, let's just
That
say
snake is the only one who
let's
actually
just
gave
say
his life
it's
for this
10,
movie.
and then the hopes and dreams of one snake handler. So,
Oh, that is really sad.
so anyway, so she comes up out of the Jeep, and her
Yeah, and she's like,
sweater-
"Oh, I used to work with this family. I know this
yeah,
family."
but she looks incredibly clean. Like if
oh
you
yeah,
had
well
just
she
killed,
changed her sweater.
If you clearly she's got
Yeah.
like 13 sweaters
Well,
in the
and
back
it's
of
a
that Jeep.
summer camp. Why is she wearing 4 shirts? And the reason she is because they wanted to bulk her up a little bit so she looked more masculine.
But then it began, and Rom, you were talking about this. Well, I think it was both you and Clint were talking about this during the actual movie itself, where they fight. Her and the final girl fight. Final girl wins every time they fight, but the
Yeah.
final girl doesn't try and like
End
kill
it.
her.
Yeah.
Knocks
Or
her
end it.
out numerous times.
Yeah.
Right. She's
but-
like, "Oh, she's got a nosebleed. she must be dead."
I've
Yeah.
always I like people getting their head chopped off.
Just-
I mean that's
So
a
sincere.
personal
Stop.
personal thing. So when she finally did that, it was worth it to
It
not
was.
end her. Like,
So the
in traditional
foreplay
ways.
you're
Right.
saying was worth the climax.
foreplay.
Gotcha.
guys.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
But
You gotta work
god
for
damn
it.
did that piss me off because there was 15 minutes of this shit where she
Yeah.
was
Yeah, it was
wrestling
real
with
bad.
her.
And then back and forth.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
There were times where she just didn't have a weapon, and they get in these like slap fights.
Oh yeah,
and
that
she
was
can't.
that was
She
pretty
can't
funny.
seem to
She,
hold
like,
her own with this old lady.
Threw
Yeah,
her
the
against a
slap
pile
fight.
of mattresses.
The slap fight was pretty great, though.
That was funny.
Okay,
she was
but-
like,
And at one
backhand.
point,
Yeah,
at one
I mean,
point,
that
she
was hot.
straight up kicked her
but-
in the taint.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
with the
entertaining.
butt of the rifle.
Yeah, she took that butt of the rifle and hit that.
Oh,
she
that
took the
was
butt of the
hard.
rifle and hit that
What
front
did
butt
you
pretty
do?
hard.
The front butt. I was like, he got it in the front butt.
Got him in the front butt.
And he was
with the-
referring to her vagina
Yeah, is
as
that-
a front butt.
That's a new
You guys-
T-shirt. Got him in the front.
He's a
butt.
virgin.
You
Guys,
guys,
what do
you
you
guys don't call it that. You guys don't call it the front butt.
Ladies, no, we do not call it that.
You should.
Rom, what do you think? What do you think? Just ignore them. What do you think the? What do you think the budget is on this movie? Like, if you had to guess, How much money they spent?
Not much.
Like in 80s terms.
Yeah, probably
You think it's like under $1 million or over $1 million?
750 or
That's really fucking close.
Holy shit,
Wow.
bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's about $700,000.
wow.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and they were specifically looking for actors who would work cheap.
Okay.
They wanted them to look like they belonged in a Pepsi commercial and would work cheap.
That is, I'm sure, Kevin Bacon right there to a T.
Sally Field apparently auditioned for the final girl.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, what
Did
about-
she win her Oscar before this movie? I'd be shocked
I'm
if she...
sure she won it after.
So you're telling me Sally Field auditioned for this movie and didn't get it?
I think so. Or maybe she
Wow.
decided not to do it.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
me feel better at night.
About Palmer, the mom, the killer, she only did it because she needed to buy a new car. And she was like, this movie is a big piece of shit. But
Well, so it made about $40 million. So in today's standards, that would be $120 million bucks on a $2 million budget. So
But
that's
this-
pretty
Jeez.
damn
Yeah, they
solid.
did great. I'm
Like-
not
Yeah.
surprised they made
Yeah.
many other ones.
That's like A Quiet Place right now. That was close to that was shot for $4 or $5 million,
Was it?
made over $100 million. So that's
Right.
that's a lot of fun. I never realized that the first one had made this much money. So
well, it's stuck around, man.
And
I love this movie.
10 of them after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, did you see all of them?
I've not.
No. Do you remember any of the other ones? Did you see the one where he goes to New York, for example?
Is that the one he hooks up with
takes
Katherine Heigl?
Manhattan.
He's,
does
yeah.
he?
Well,
Yeah.
he really
No.
takes a cruise
From a
ship. Is
ferry.
what he does.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't seen it. I don't know. It just sounds fucking horrible.
Oh, you're gonna get there about
Well, I
3 or
mean-
4 years from now.
Yeah,
the-
the next Friday the 13th. We didn't
was so
talk
bad.
about Todd's favorite part of the movie in the canoe.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to the
When
very end yet.
Yeah.
So
shit.
she gets into the.
Oh, my God,
Okay, now
well,
can we
yeah.
talk about this?
Okay.
This bugged the ever living shit out of me.
Yeah.
She can run to the road
Oh,
where
my God.
there is her running Jeep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sitting there.
Yes.
It's not like
With the
her-
lights
yeah.
on.
No. She went to the Jeep, but then that other girl was there.
Oh, that's right.
And scared
Annie
the
was
shit out
dead
of
in the
her.
Jeep.
And scared the shit out of her. And
Yeah.
then she's such an idiot that she.
Well, push the fucking body out of the
Yeah.
way.
Or start driving
Or
away
start
and then-
running on foot to
Yeah.
the road.
What I would have done is tied a rope around the door handle and then piled every single chair. in
That
front
was
of
the most
door
comedic
for
scene.
20 minutes.
This
She was
scene
like,
goes on
Where's another
forever.
chair? Yeah.
You
What else
realize
do
that-
I have? And the window was open right next
I know.
to her.
She's like, oh, I'm going to pile every piece of furniture in front of the door, but this window, I'm just going to close the curtains. And now I'm safe.
Oh my God.
And the body came through the window. She didn't close the
Of
curtains.
course,
on.
the door was barricaded.
What other chance do they
Yeah,
have?
like it had to
and
come
the
through the
other
window.
window had the curtains closed.
Oh yeah,
so-
you can't come through the curtains.
No, but she let the killer in anyway.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
because he just ended up going
Yeah,
through a
she trusted
window
her.
because she didn't do anything to the windows.
Right.
So yeah. So anyway, at the end of I guess she decapitates Jason's mom, right?
Yes. After the
then-
9th nosebleed that she thinks has killed the killer, that she just
And
kind of.
3 out of 4 of us just came
Yeah.
in our pants when that happened.
Yes.
And
I'm the one that did not.
Oh, no, I
So,
didn't.
yeah, you've seen it that many times. I forgot that happened. That she got decapitated.
Yeah,
I remember
and
she
I've
died,
forgotten
but
what you saw like the gore inside the
Oh, yeah, you
neck
saw,
and
like,
like the
bone and,
splurting
yeah, it
blood
was-
and her
God, it was
hands
the
saying
best.
no.
Okay, that
She was
was kind
still-
of cool.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
cool.
cool. I
Okay,
don't remember that.
It's kind of like the lizards where the tail keeps going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So these.
She's still protesting her death.
Why do I feel like Ram has pulled a lot of tails off lizards right now?
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you do as a kid?
Okay, we still haven't talked about the canoe part.
Yeah,
where
so
Todd shit his
when
pants.
yeah, I really did. So when the killer dies,
She gets in her canoe
she
to work
gets in
through
a
her
canoe
feelings.
and then goes. Yeah, she's skinny enough to be able to stay in a canoe. So
it
she
bothers
goes.
me that you're not answering.
So she goes out to the middle of the lake, and then the cops pull up. But like it's just music. It's like it feels like the end credits are about to roll at any
Of a
moment.
romantic comedy.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
the music
and she's
is
like dreamily running her hands across the
She's
water.
just having a good
Yeah,
time in
and
the
then-
fucking lake.
Oh, the cops are here.
And then out of
Hello.
nowhere, this fucking child of the lake comes up and grabs
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
her. Did I yell?
You said
You almost, dude, you almost hit your head on the ceiling because we have a very
Yes.
low ceiling, and,
And
you
we
like
were
jumped
all
off the
dying
couch.
laughing because I think we all three knew it was
Yeah,
coming,
yeah,
right?
we knew.
And I
Yeah,
think
you
we
guys
had
are a
all
bunch of bastards.
we had this unspoken deal, and I could feel it. Like we're not going to look at Todd. We're not going to let him know something's going to happen, and it paid off because he lost his shit.
That did scare the fuck
It
out
was
of me.
awesome.
I hate you all so
And then she
much.
just wakes up in the hospital and she's like,
Like what the fuck?
where is she?
If you took took out the threat, why are you just wandering? Like, was she in shock? Like, what the fuck was she doing? She was just
may have
wandering
actually
to the
been
canoe.
in shock. She saw all of her friends' mutilated bodies, and then she cut the head off of a lady.
That's no reason to be in shock.
I mean,
She should have been fine.
She should have been totally
Wait,
Walk
but
it
she
off.
had no scratch on her.
She didn't. Yeah, she
Okay.
did get slapped a bunch.
Yeah,
though.
she got the shit slapped out of her for sure.
so many lady slaps.
Yeah, dude, and like back
So many
and
hot,
forehand.
hot lady slaps.
Ooh, yeah, and
So the
that's
cops
it.
show up and they're kind of waving this bitch down. you
Don't want to
know.
get their feet wet.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Don't
when
wanna
the
get in
jump
lake.
scare, the very last jump scare happens.
Yes. Then at the end, she's just in the hospital. And she's like, but I guess he's still there because they didn't find the boy in the lake.
Yeah.
I think they could have done without that end scene.
Well, Ram and I were talking.
No, it didn't.
Ram and I were talking about how, like, apparently he survived. I guess
That's
for part,
what
I don't.
happens
I
in
haven't
the
watched part
second.
2 in a long
So-
time,
Yeah,
and so now
he
he's an
survived,
adult
he's just
killing
been
people.
living in the woods the whole time.
Okay,
Right.
but there are definitely
Yeah.
parts of the sequel where he is an adult for most of the movie, but then during his moments of weakness, he turns back into the boy.
Yeah.
and it makes no
Like,
goddamn
actually
sense.
turns back into the boy.
Yes,
Really?
like especially at the end. Like when they weaken him, he'll go back into a boy. Not in every sequel, but in some sequels. And also, he always looks horribly deformed, like he
Yeah.
did in this
Yeah.
movie, which
Yeah.
also
I
doesn't
remember
make
that from
much
Freddy
sense.
vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Well, what were they trying to do? Make him look like, oh, this corpse has been at the bottom of the lake this whole time, but his body didn't decay or something.
I think that's what he was supposed to look like in this one.
And this one,
Right.
but well,
Yeah.
they kept the same look throughout the series.
Yeah, I always
So-
thought he looked like he had been burned when he comes out of the lake too, but I guess it's just like lake goo or whatever.
Well,
I
in
think
the
they call
late
that
sequels, he
algae.
does get burned
algae.
multiple times.
Yeah, yeah, he
and so
does.
then, like by the
Exactly.
time he gets to Jason Goes to Hell, you can like see his brain.
Oh,
Like his
nice.
brain is like, yeah, you can see his brain moving
I
and
don't
stuff.
want to watch any of these fucking movies.
But you will.
I'm going to say this.
The
This
birth of
movie
the
was
sequel.
so bad.
Oh, I loved
that
it.
we did not. This is the first movie we haven't done a full synopsis of. We just like got fucking bored.
I think
and
we
went through
did
it.
the whole thing.
No, we just talked about
There's
kills,
just
dog.
not there's not a
This movie was
whole
shitty
lot
as
else.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll probably be writing about this.
Oh,
one.
hey, the website launched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
HorrorVirgin.com is now live.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And we're writing a blog we're going to shoot for weekly just about whatever. It's not going to be about the movie that we're watching, or it might be, I don't know. It's going to be whatever I feel like writing about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean, we already
Whenever I
have
feel like
quite a
doing
few
it.
blog posts up already.
Yeah,
so
3.
check them out. I have a fun fact about the rights and why we haven't gotten a new
Oh, yeah.
Friday the 13th movie. So there's been a sort of I don't want to say a war going on, but like the rights have been going back
Between
and
Freddie
forth
and
between New Line Cinema and Paramount and back and forth and back and forth. New Line Cinema eventually got absorbed by Warner Brothers, and so Paramount had owned the Friday the 13th rights for a while, and then New Line Cinema got them from them later on, I think in the 90s. So I think Jason Goes to Hell was the first Jason movie under New Line. When they were making, when Warner Brothers was making the movie Interstellar. Oh, I'm sorry, I got that confused. Paramount was making the movie Interstellar. Yes, the Christopher Nolan Interstellar.
Matthew McConaughey.
Warner Brothers wanted a piece of the pie, and they offered to help finance it because they knew it was going to be this like big monster hit or whatever. Which it ended up being only like a modest hit in the
It
end.
still
but
made a lot of money though.
It wasn't a great movie.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Not
so
as
they-
good as Inception.
so they wanted to buy into it, and so Paramount said, okay, if you want a piece of Interstellar, we want the rights to the South Park sequels, and we want the rights to Friday the 13th back. So out of
Which
that
South Park song
Interstellar
should I start
deal,
singing
the
right
rights
now?
went back to Paramount, and then Paramount, like whoever the head of Paramount was, like didn't like horror movies. And so they
I like
had all
this
these
guy.
scripts developed, but they didn't make any of them.
Sounds like a
This just in, Todd's the head of Paramount.
And they didn't make a movie in time, and so there was a deadline in the paperwork, and
Did the
now it's
rights
back to
revert?
New Line. And New Line isn't making it because the writer of this original movie and the director of this movie, Sean S. Cunningham, and I don't know who the writer's name is, they've been fighting over the rights. And the writer is activating this clause that basically says, oh, at any point in time, because I'm the original writer, I can reclaim the rights.
Really?
And Sean Cunningham and Paramount is like, no. So they've been in court over that. I'm sorry, New Line, not Paramount. God damn, so confusing. So anyway, that's why we haven't gotten to Friday the 13th in a while.
Interesting.
But they've gotten some serious talent working on these latest drafts, and they just didn't get made. Like there was one really cool one that kind of leaked online that was about Jason killing people in the winter, and so it was snowy
Yeah.
the whole time. And I'm like, that is something new.
that
would
sounds
be
really
fun.
cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's always
fun
a
to
summer
watch.
camp.
Yeah.
I always get this confused with Halloween. Like,
Well, yeah.
because I've never seen a Halloween movie, so I would get Jason confused with.
Michael
They're very
Myers.
similar.
Michael
It's
Myers.
just
They are very
Jason in
similar.
the. It's just Jason in the suburbs.
And I feel like
It's the only
these two franchises are very similar to each other, and they're probably the closest to each other of any of the other big franchises, you know. And I prefer Jason to Michael. I still really like Michael.
Well,
but-
there are usually much better actors in the Halloween
Yeah.
movies, especially the ones with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's
Yeah.
they're real movies.
And I feel like Friday the 13th lots of times is more formulaic, and it's like going through the hits kind of movies, where with Halloween, I shouldn't say this because I haven't seen them all, but like with Halloween, they try to vary the story a little bit, you know?
It's sort of a choose your own adventure at this point.
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
continuity's pretty bad.
I would like to see a Jason versus Michael. That would
Yeah,
be
but
cool.
who would do any talking? And then
Nobody
it just
would,
be-
and I would enjoy that more than Freddy, a little wisecracker, you know?
That was the best.
I do have a fact about Jason's original name was supposed to be Josh, but
That's-
they thought it didn't sound as sinister.
It doesn't.
Josh,
does
or
not
maybe
sound as
Joshua sounds a little creepy.
Joshua.
Malachi.
I mean-
I can't wait for you to watch Children of the Corn. Look at your face.
That's the second time you guys have done that. I have no idea what the
Children
I
of
know,
the
but you're
Corn
gonna get
all
there. Question me not, Malachi.
It's funny because I don't know what's.
I love
all
that
right.
movie.
Children of the Corn is actually pretty boring.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Until
mean,
the
this-
last
story,
30
though.
minutes.
This movie was real boring.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
It
like
agree.
was so bad.
I agree. This movie is going to turn 40 in 2 years.
Is it?
That is
Oh,
crazy.
We'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
We'll do a
Isn't that
happy
insane?
birthday
That is
episode.
insane.
And I'm really excited for the new Halloween because it's coming out on the 40th anniversary.
Oh,
And the
wow.
last time Jamie Lee Curtis did one was H2O.
So my mom was pregnant with me when she watched Halloween, and she
That's
always
unfortunate.
says that's why I like scary movies so much.
Oh.
That's her theory.
Does your mom like horror movies?
No, my mom hates horror
What the
movies.
fuck was she doing at
Your mom
Halloween?
and my mom would get along.
Oh, I bet they would.
Yeah. So, Rom, we have a scary scale where we rank how scared we were by this movie. It does not have anything to do with how good we thought the movie was.
Because
It's
that is a 0.
and I would put it a lot higher. It's how scared we were. So, on the one end is Ghostbusters. I was going to say Goosebumps. So, Ghostbusters is a 1.
Texas
Texas
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
This is your scale.
You
I
forget
And
the
you
scale
always
you
forget.
created every
Oh.
episode.
Luckily,
Mine.
I
And it's
have
like
you
10
two
or
kind fellows
5?
to help me out
10.
every time.
Okay, that
Yeah.
5 thing was totally confusing.
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Just letting
You have
know.
listened
I
to the
started it
show.
with a
Yes,
5.
I
Yeah.
have
You listened to
listened.
that first episode when it was out.
Can we make the guest go first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so-
nice.
So the scare scale.
Scare scale.
yeah.
How
On a
scared
1 to
were
10,
you?
how
And this is how
were
scared you were today, not
Right.
how
Not-
scared you
yeah,
were
not
back
as a
then.
So I
9-year-old.
would say 2.
2?
I mean, I hated this
Be
movie.
honest.
It was very, very boring. But if I jumped as much as you said I did at the end, I'm going to have to at least say a 5 or 6.
I think so too. You want to say 5 or 6 or 5.5?
Let's just say 6 because
Okay.
I'm a fucking
That
hater.
was the loudest I have seen you scream.
No,
I think.
Hereditary.
No, Hereditary. that's right.
Hereditary, I stood
But I was
up.
trapped in
I
my own
stood
sorrow.
up in
so I didn't know.
Hereditary
I wanna
and
see
yelled at the
Hereditary.
screen.
You should wait until the Mist episode comes out. There's a lot of like dry heaving.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
Like we start talking about gross stuff.
yeah. Clint?
I'm gonna give it a 1.
1.
It just did not do it for me in any way, shape, or form.
I'm
Really
going to give
didn't.
it, I think, a 2. Yeah.
Normally, I would give it higher just for like a sort of like a spooky atmosphere, but like this movie is so cheap, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Like when it went to somebody's running around in the woods, like I don't know what's going on. And we watched a pretty good kind of like high res version of this. It's
Yeah.
just
Well, I think part of it is we didn't watch it in the dark.
That's
So
true.
That would
In the
probably
dark,
make a
dark.
difference.
that's true. All right.
Yo, panic!
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening to our very special
Yeah.
Friday
Our
the 13th
surprise Friday the
episode.
13th.
Yeah, and next Friday the 13th we'll do, I guess, the second one.
The
Yeah,
second
the
one,
second
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not a huge
And,
fan of the second one.
So we're breaking the order with this episode because it's a special. It's going to come out on Friday the
Yes.
13th. So
Yeah, so the last episode you
today
guys
it's
heard
coming
was-
out today on Friday the 13th.
So the last episode you guys heard was Frailty. That was Monday, and then today's Friday the 13th. But next Monday, you're also getting another one.
Yes, which will be Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's
Yep.
Play is coming out Monday. So I guess we're doing 5 episodes this month, or
I think
Yeah.
so.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Lucky
maybe
you.
6.
Hitting
I think
it
there are
hard.
5 Mondays this month. So I think we're
Going
actually
down to
doing
Pound
6
Town.
this month. Ooh, down
yes.
to Pound Town ladies. The website launched, horrorvirgin.com is up and live. The blog is up there. You can listen to all the podcasts from there as well.
Yep. And
Subscribe to
follow
us on iTunes.
Yes.
Follow us on all the stuff because we tweet out all this info in case you forget.
Yeah, so follow us. It's at Horror Virgin on all of the social media. Well, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All the ones
Yeah.
we give a shit about. We did announce that we are now proud members of the Modern Horrors Podcast Network.
and
if you like listening to us, make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you subscribe to our feed, you'll get it on Monday. If you subscribe to theirs, you'll get it Wednesday or Thursday. So make sure you subscribe to us so you get it first.
But
And
also an awesome podcast, and check out the other podcasts in their network.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Yes, they have The Final Girls, which I love,
Love
and
it.
they have Death, Dying, and Other Things, which is a narrative horror podcast. I love it.
And
of
all the
course-
podcasts are pretty different. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
they
a horror
are.
fan, check it out. Check them all out.
Jake and Lukup's podcast. Jake and Lukup's. Luke and Jacob's Modern Horrors podcast is really informative about just what's going on with horror.
That's
and
why I like the
reviews.
network, because
Yeah.
we're very different from everyone else.
Yeah.
On Death and Dying and Other Things is very different from everything else. Final Girl is very different from everything
Yeah,
else.
if you
So
like horror,
Yeah.
there's
You get a little
lots
bit of everything,
there.
yeah.
yeah. All right.
perfect.
Are we done jerking them off? So let's.
You're gonna leave that in, aren't you?
No.
Rama's like, look at all these blowjobs happening here.
Yeah, let me just wipe my
That
chin.
is not what this pod left is for, by the way. Okay.
Rom, thanks for coming. Hope you come back.
Thank you.
Yes.
Rob, thank you very
Our
much.
first inaugural
Yes.
guest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I had
that
a
was
great
awesome.
time.
How was it? Was it everything you thought it would be?
All and more.
He's like, I am leaving.
I am leaving, ladies.
All right.
I'm Clint.
I'm Todd.
I'm Rom.
I'm Jennifer.
Bye.